Are we live? Chat, please tell me we're live, because I don't see my stream. Oh, never mind. I do see my stream. Why does it not have a thumbnail? Chat, why is this happening? What is up with the technical difficulties? Everywhere I go, everywhere I look. Click here, you bigots. Put it on the Discord server. Matress Girl Saga. And now on a more important platform, the Twata. Okay, give me a second. I need to promote this, chat. I need to promote this so I can help you multiply. Click here, you bigots. Let's put the mattress thing here. Alright, and now reply to my own thing, because Twitter is ridiculously inept. They actually managed to do something. So if you're a content creator, I don't know how many of you are, but like sometimes there are content creators which watch my streams, and here's some tips and tricks for you. Twitter is suppressing videos. In fact, it's not just suppressing videos, it's suppressing any link that takes you off Twitter. So newspaper articles, live streams, YouTube videos, you name it. And what you can do in order to get around the suppression is you post the initial message with a thumbnail, like for example, click here, you bigots, and then you reply to that and you post the actual link. It is very annoying. I understand why Twitter does it. I don't like it. Again, the idea that everything you do on social media is being manipulated to a certain extent is something that didn't exist 4 years ago. And I think like most people hate it, but they just put up with it. Being on social media now is like making a deal with the devil. Like you know that it's bad, but people just do it anyway. And even worse, I guess it's not just that you're doing a business with the devil. Like everything that's free on the internet, it means that you are the product. I mean, Facebook, for example. The way it's making money is not just through ads, but it's from harvesting data from its users. So, yeah, like Facebook is literally spyware, changed my mind. And most people know about it, but they put up with it because they like the comfort of Facebook, I guess. It is what it is. Hello, Abdi. It is a fun background, a little bit depressing, I would say. But I like it because it shows the weather in my heart. I'm not very thrilled recently. I have a couple of issues. One of them is like my wife went to the doctor and she's got a little bit of hearing loss. So now she's going to investigate why that is the thing, because she's a very young woman. She's not even 30 yet. I believe she's 29, or maybe she is 30. I don't fucking know. No, yeah, wait. Yeah, 27, 28. Dude, it's numbers, okay? I'm a doctor, not a mathematician. But it's not normal for her age to have hearing loss. So she's going to take a remene, we call it, an MRI, I guess. Yeah, that's what the Americans call it. And we'll see what's up. Can be many things. Can be a tumor pressing on the nerve. Can be something degenerative. But regardless, it's not okay. So this makes me feel a little bit under the weather, which is why you get this background. So yes, I do appreciate that you guys like the background though. It's not okay. All right, so, the audio is coming clear. Aladai mathematician. I mean, technically I could. She's 9 years younger than me, so it's 36 minus 9. Yeah, whatever. All right, we're going to talk about the mattress girl today, not about my wife. And before I do that, I'm going to wait for more people to join the chat, and then we can go in this together, because it's a really interesting story. Yeah, my wife is okay. I mean, at worst, she's going to probably need hearing aid, but like I don't think that, because right now she still hears fine. It's just that it's kind of like difficult to describe. Like some noises she can't hear, So like if you go behind her and you whisper, like she might not hear it, which is, you know, I mean, it's something that she can live with, but it's not okay to happen at such an early age. Like if it remains the way it is, it's fine. But like if it continues, then well, losing your hearing at the age of 40 is not something that most people look up to. All right. So, why are you sick of it all, Matt the cat? What happened? Matt the cat is upset. Chat, please cheer him up. Use your cheer up magic on Matt the cat. I'd love to see that happening. I want Matt the cat to leave my stream while being happy. How come you don't even know your wife's age? And I hope it ain't something serious with your lady. Dude, in Romania, we also celebrate a saint's birthday. So you have like your name day and then you have your saint's day. And I'm supposed to celebrate Saint Michael. I don't know when the fuck that is. Like people tell me, it's like happy birthday. It's like, why? What happened? It's Saint Michael. And I'm like, oh. It's kind of weird. Like Americans don't have that, but it is an orthodoxy. So when you have a kid, let's say you name him Bob, and you give him a saint name as well. So it's kind of like the saint is supposed to protect him. So it's going to be like Bob Gabriel, right? So Gabriel Bob, like two names. And whenever it's Gabriel's day on the Orthodox calendar, when it's the saint name, you treat it like it's a birthday. And yeah, like people kind of celebrate two birthdays. Most people usually like drop it. On the saint name, you just tell the person happy birthday and that's it. But like it is a thing. The Greeks actually celebrate the saint name properly. Like when it's the saint name, they actually do the party and everything. And then when it's their birthday, it's something like for family and close friends. So it's quite the opposite. I only know of Matress Girl because of Saga. Man, what a throwback. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I'm just waiting for more people to join the chat. I'm fluffing you, basically. I'm being a fluffer. But I do want to talk about some more interesting subjects on the stream because recently I've just been talking with the chat and that doesn't make for interesting streams. So I need to up my game. It's why I watch some popular VTubers because I learn stuff from them. I don't just watch them in order to get entertained. I learn stuff. How to entertain the chat, for example. When is it St. V Day? We need to know so we can celebrate with Pepsi. Black Angus burgers and kittens. There is no St. V Day. But you can celebrate Augustine. Chat, it's Augustine. There is St. Augustine. Say it with me. And you can celebrate that. I'm pretty sure there are people who would appreciate it. Is it possible your wife's hearing difficulty is self-inflicted? I mean, a lifetime of listening to you squeak. Dude, she doesn't know me for a lifetime. And I think she was broken when I found it. I kid. Of course, I kid. No, she had hearing problems from when I found her. Her dad had hearing problems. So I assume it's something to do with genetic. I'm worried that it's only 1 year. So yeah, it could be a tumor. But hopefully not. Again, it's a young age, so she shouldn't have these issues. And I shouldn't even talk about them. I just explained to someone why I'm upset. I would rather not dwell on it until the investigations come out, because, like, when you get a diagnostic, especially if you're skilled in med school and you know the possibilities, you usually think of what's worse. And it's probably not what's worse, right? It's probably something that's a lot less. But until she goes and gets that MRI, I'm not going to be very well. I'm going to sleep with one eye open. I'm entertaining in general. Well, says you. The numbers don't stick out, Mason. Most people do not find me entertaining in general. Most people find me boring in general. I suck at Googling. Where can I get that background? So if you want to get this background, I bought it to the Heaven X girls as well. But you can go on Steam, and it's called Wallpaper Engine, and it costs $3. And with $3, you get access to a multitude of backgrounds. And they're all like this. And some of them, like this one, for example, even has sound effects. Let me see if I can, hold on. Let me see if I can turn on the sound effects so you guys can hear it. Here we go. All right. And it's really cool when you're live streaming. It's really cool. Like if you're a VTuber, you can put your little avatar here, and it adds a little bit to the immersion for the chat. And there's many types of similar avatars, so similar backgrounds. In fact, there's like thousands of them, and it only costs $3 to download the app. Again, Steam wallpaper engine, and there you go. It's what Flamenco uses it. In fact, I got it from Flamenco. I asked him, like, how do you have, like, that really cool background, Flamenco? And he was like, well, best $3 I have ever spent on Steam. And I was like, oh, shit. Really? That's kind of cool. Yes. Should we talk about the mattress girl, or should we wait until we get more people in the chat? Spoon, be careful. The don't say gay bill has passed. You're not supposed to say the word anymore. In fact, you weren't supposed to say it since, I believe, 2016. Oh. Yes, people in Florida are panicking. Oh my god, the don't say gay bill. It's like, what are they talking about? Like, I remember when the patches came out for World of Warcraft. And one of my friends went on the Blizzard forum and said, wow, that's gay. And he got banned. Like, from then, you weren't allowed to say gay. And for some reason, Disney didn't take offense to that. But it's good, it's good that now they're taking offense to it. Alright. Let's talk about the mattress girl. Abdi Muhammad doesn't want me to become a VTuber. It will happen, Abdi. I'm sorry. The change has already begun. It's in process. But you know what? I made sure that the artist didn't draw it. It's a rendering, Abdi. But by the way, Abdi, like, if a VTuber is haram because it's a drawing, isn't this haram as well? Like, isn't the wallpaper haram? Isn't the wallpaper haram, Abdi? In your heart, you know it to be true. Alright. You're from a world where gay means happy. Yeah, that's what my friend probably wanted to say. It's like, those patch notes are gay because, like, they're happy. It made him happy. Alright, so the mattress girl. This was back in 2017 when universities were crazy, but they weren't batshit insane. And it happened with a man by the name of Paul Nungesser. Now, I might be wrong on these details, but I don't think I am. Please correct me, chat. If you correct me and I'm wrong, I will immediately fact check. But like, it's from my memory, because I mean, this is a very old story. So Paul Nungesser was dating this lady, and I believe at one point she wanted him to fuck her in the ass, and he did not want to. And after that, she accused him of rape. Now, fortunately for the man, he actually had the receipts. He had the chat logs where this happened. And he went to the university, and as you can see here, the university found him not guilty. Like, the university investigated him. Look here. The school investigated the allegations and found the man not guilty of sexual misconduct. Now, I just want to say that it is so bizarre for me from Romania to realize that the university in the United States has the power to investigate people. Because this is a criminal offense that we're talking about, right? We're not talking about like a misconduct or, someone stealing a paper pencil. No, like, we're talking about someone that should be behind bars if they have done it. Now, when you do a criminal investigation, you need professionals, like people who know how to do forensics, people who know how to cross-examine witnesses. Do university professors know how to do this? Do they have the training required to know how to make sure that the investigation is done properly? And even then, right? What punishment do they give? Because normally a person that would rape someone, you hope that they end up in prison. But instead, they just end up suspended from the university. So no, I find this to be completely ridiculous. It's the Title IX thing. No, like I think that in any civilized country and in any normal country, this type of investigation should be up to the police and the authorities. Definitely not for the university professors. And I mean, like, let's think about it this way. What if it's a murder? Okay, like you find a dead body in the middle of the university. No one knows who did it. What are they going to do? Are they going to get the professors to investigate? Like, why not? If they can investigate sexual assault, why can't they investigate murder? Right? So you can realize how ridiculous this is. Because clearly they're not trained. Clearly they're not licensed to do these types of investigations. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, in my country, if a person is accused of, let's say, in this case, sexual misconduct, the police investigates. And if it's a professor or someone like that, by the way, like, this is the Romanian system, which I am shocked that it's not the American system. I mean, Romania, right? A nation that was under communism has a much more advanced and fair system than that in the United States. So, if you are a university professor and someone, let's say, accuses you of rape, and this actually happened when I was at the university, the anatomy professor, out of all places, he was accused by a student. The police came, gave the student a hidden camera. The student went into his office where he filmed him undressed, and then the cops went in and arrested him. Now, during the arrest, the professor was suspended without pay. And this is normal. Like, for every single case. When a person is being investigated, the university doesn't fire them, but they suspend them without pay. And if the person manages to prove their innocence in court, they are reinstated. And if they don't manage to prove their innocence in court, then they are fired. And this is standard procedure, and I think it's fair because we operate under the presumption of innocent until proven guilty. And it's not just a presumption for the court system, it's a cultural thing. Like, culturally, the people around you should believe that you are innocent until proven guilty. It's not just like, oh, well, it's a thing for the courts and it's a legal matter. No. It's a cultural matter. And this is true for anything. Until the person has been found guilty, he is treated like any other person that's innocent. It's bizarre that in America it's not the same. Abdi Muhammad says it's not of a living thing if it's a creature and people. Okay. God damn it, that includes trolls. So if I have an anime hold on, like let's talk about this because it's interesting. It is more fair than in the States, is it not? And by the way, it also matters the job that you are doing. Like, for example, if you're, I think they call it a public person, right? A person exposed to the public. And this is like a prestigious job, like a job that requires the person to behave in a certain way. Like, for example, an athlete, right? Like, an athlete isn't supposed to do drugs. A doctor, a judge, a politician, like, these people are supposed, at least in theory, to have a certain way of composing themselves, a certain prestige, if you will, which, if tarnished, they get fired. Now, in the case of politicians, obviously they can't get fired because they're elected, but the party can kick them out, and at the new election, they can only run as independent. Like, for example, if it's a politician that did something really bad, like an accusation of rape, let's say. And the party can kick them out if it's proven true. But, like, whatever. You guys know what I mean. In other cases, they get fired. But if it's like someone like a plumber or someone like a garbage collector, no one cares what the fuck they're doing in public. Right? Like, it's not that legally the company wouldn't be able to fire them, but culturally, no one is going to go and pressure the garbage company to fire Bob because he said an angry tweet. Like, we do this separation because at the end of the day, maybe Bob is the best garbage collector in town, even though he says problematic shit online. I mean, if he says problematic shit online, ban his account, block him, mute him. But, like, no one goes after Bob to try and get him to stop collecting garbage and be on welfare. Like, that's an American thing that I never understood it when I first heard about it. It was like so bizarre. Because I remember there was a case of a plumber who took advantage of a reporter which was in front of him. And he went in front of the camera and said, I believe it was fucker in the pussy or something like that. Like, there was a meme at the time. And the guy got fired. And I'm like, why? He's a plumber. What does that have to do? Like, what does his behavior have to do with his ability of plumbing? Like, you don't hire a plumber because he is a model citizen. Like, you hire a plumber so that he can fix your plumbing. Now, if he was a judge, yeah, sure, you know, because you expect, like, judges to be model citizens. You look up to them. Like, it's a plumber, you know, like, whatever. You know, that's the American way. And it's just very difficult to grasp for me as an Eastern European. The United States universities, according to ZDF, are not a part of the United States. They are autonomous zones of social justice activism. I don't know. Like, I do understand they have their own police force. Which is not to say a lot of people that they hire, but they have, like, campus security and stuff, right? So that's kind of like a small, I guess, like, private security detail. I don't even know if the police, like, this is so weird to me. I still don't understand it to this day. Like, how can a university professor do an investigation? It's just bizarre. But okay, so, moving on. This lady, right, she wanted to get fucked in the ass, according to her, wanted to get pumped in the tushy by this guy by the name of Paul Nungesser. And because he said no, she then accused him of rape. Now, the university, again, found him to be innocent because he had the chat logs and he showed them. And it was like 2 other students which also joined in the bandwagon. Now, remember, this was in 2017. And back then, it was the idea that you need to believe all women because, unlike men, women cannot lie, I suppose. And Hillary Clinton was running for office, so you needed the culture where the president of the United States can never, ever say a lie, right? So if you had the question, yeah, in the tushy, Billy Blog, I don't know, it's disgusting. I don't understand people who, like, they have a vagina literally a couple of centimeters upwards, but they prefer the stink hole. I never get the idea of, like, exploring the cave of mysteries. It's something that I guess, like, it's for some people, but for me, I just prefer the normal way. I prefer the vanilla. I don't know. There was, like, a post on Reddit that the reason people prefer the Cave of Mysteries is because after they're done, they can do, like, they can ask her to bend over so that they can do a Hitler mustache on her face. Like a paintbrush, you know? Like, that type of thing doesn't really work for me. It's not something that I would recommend to other people. It seems very peculiar. Not what a person does to a Christian woman. I do not appreciate chocolate, no. In this case, yes, it is absolutely disgusting. Yes, it is gross. Look, Marinara Salsa agrees with me, and that makes me happy. I have confirmation. We're living under slavery, if you think about it, says Mentat. Normies are afraid of thinking for themselves because they will lose their job. You know, yes, like, if you are a person that has other people depending on you, I can see why. I don't really blame them that much, but you'd think that at the voting booth, when they're not in danger of losing their job, they would make a more educated decision. I might be remembering wrong, but I think she had a rape fantasy. Like, she wanted him to tie her up and stuff. No. We're going to get to that in a bit. It's, that comes after. Is it kind of gay to bomb a girl? It is a sin. It is sodomy. The Bible forbids it. But there's complications that can come from that. Again, like, dude, there is a normal hole just a little bit upwards. I don't understand why you have to go downhill. I mean, when you're doing oral, it's kind of like working with the mafia. One wrong move and you're into shit. But like, whatever. Why did I even get into this conversation? The Muslims have actual faith. Oh no, like, dude, boot sex, and I'm talking about boot sex with women, right? Like, boot sex in the Muslim world apparently is quite high on the list. If you look at the search engines on Google, it's quite up there. The Bible only forbids sodomy, doesn't forbid gay relations between women. It is actually true. However, you can make the argument that sex between women is also not okay, because sexual relationship under the Bible can only happen between married couples. So because women under Christianity cannot marry, then they would not be able to have sex. Like, it would be fornication, as the Bible would describe it. But still, it's not sodomy, so yeah, I mean, that is correct. Let us research. The Bible is based as the holy dissolution. Oh, I see. Your name clearly doesn't suggest any form, shape of bias or anything like that. It's just a complete objective opinion about the Bible. All right. You can have two wives. That's in the Old Testament. I never understood, like, the two wives kind of thing. If you think about it, it kind of destabilizes a society. I mean, nothing is more dangerous than a group of men that have blue balls. It's not healthy for men to not have companionship. And if you have a society where men can marry multiple women, then that guarantees that some men are going to end up without companionship, and they're going to be very angry and problematic. So I would prefer the type of societies we live under, where, you know, the marriage is between two people rather than multiple. Are you sure the Bible is not against lesbianism? I am willing to change my mind if I see the contrary. Mentat, I'm sorry, I forgot to put the PayPal link. I will put it next time, I promise. It's my bad. But yeah, like, I remember reading the Bible. I never found any passage that considers two women doing anything to be sinful. So it is what it is. Anyway, get to the story. Yes, I'm sorry. It says Anothium. Like, people in the chat are constantly derailing me. I should get to the story. So, as we were saying, like, this guy, this chick accuses this guy. This guy is found innocent. But this chick persists. So this chick persists, and she does, like, this whole art thing where she now carries a mattress wherever she goes. Even she even carried the mattress at her graduation. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And the man then sued the university because this, again, despite the fact that he was found innocent, the university not only allowed her to do this, so the university not only allowed her to do this, but apparently facilitated her to do this. And Columbia recognizes that after the conclusion of the investigation, Paul's remaining time at Columbia became very difficult for him, and not what Columbia would want any of its students to experience. The university said in an email statement that the school did not reveal details about the settlement. So they settled with the guy, right? The university also said it would continue going over and updating its policies to ensure both the accuser and the accused are being treated faithfully. And together with Paul and his parents, we have fought for 3 long years for a statement like the one Columbia released today. It gives Paul a chance to go on with his life and recover from the false accusations against him. So, again, recapping for the people who are new, she accused him. He proved his innocence. She continued to do this art project where she carried a mattress and slandered him. And the university helped out. Apparently, they even provided her at one point with a truck so that they can carry the mattress around for her. Let me see if I can find the actual project which she did. Because she went around in the city with the mattress. And it was like walk a mile or something, like carry her burden, I believe it was called, right? Zenith, thank you for the $5. In the 10 Amendments, women are listed among property. I mean, we're talking about a very ancient time, so I'm glad things progress from there. But anyway, right. This is the picture. And as you can see, like, she is constantly seen as carrying the mattress. Now, apparently, like, what was going on, and if you look at the mattress, like, it's very difficult to carry. She wasn't actually carrying it herself. Like, she either had people helping her, or there was a truck which carried her mattress all the way up until the photo op, and then she would just do it as a photo op. And, you know, like, people in the media call her, look, fake rape poster. Because, again, like, it was proven that she didn't got assaulted or anything. And you can see her smiling. Like, why would you smile? You know, if this is a traumatic event for you. Like, there's no reason to smile about these things. But whatever, right? So, it culminated with the graduation. And at the graduation, you can see this circus of macabre where her and her friends are walking with the mattress. Now, what's interesting is that this man is supposed to shake your hand when you graduate, but, like, look at him. Look what he does. All right, like, she's coming, and sorry, this man over here, not this one, my bad. Like, this one is the one supposed to shake your hand, and they're coming, and all of a sudden, he finds an excuse to turn his back. And this was actually said in the media. It's like, oh, no, like, this is not what happened. But, like, when you look at the picture, it's like, I don't know. Again, like, this is a mockery of the whole event, right? Like, imagine you're in her class, and you graduate, and you want to save this memory for your children. And there are children like, why is this girl carrying a mattress? What is... Right. It is narcissism, I would say, yes. Now, this isn't the end of it, right? Because afterwards, she actually makes a porn movie where she gets assaulted. And I think she even made like a theater play where she got tied up and allegedly assaulted. And it's like, is this really what a person who goes to a traumatic event does? I mean, let's imagine a soldier, a veteran who went into World War II. Like, when he gets home, do you really see that person going in stage plays, reenacting in Hollywood movies, the combat experience and all that, if he actually has PTSD? I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's very bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, she did the pornography, yes. Like, she actually... I think it was a movie that was on the internet, and she released it, right? Like, and it was to raise awareness. It was to raise awareness. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who does that? How does that make sense? How is making a movie... I mean, if anything, like, if you see something like that, you'd say it's glorifying rather than raising awareness. It raises awareness about the thing being bad, just like Call of Duty raises awareness that what is bad. I mean, have you guys played Call of Duty? There's a lot of Call of Duty players that literally went on and enlisted in the military or tried to join a mercenary company because they like Call of Duty and they wanted to replicate that. So I don't know, like, what type of awareness is being raised by doing these acts. It's very bizarre, very bewildering. And if you look at the comment section, they also reflect the same thing. It's like, lol, so many dislikes. Guilty until proven innocent. Look at her face when she is looking at the crowd. And you can see here at 10 seconds, right? I mean, when she's looking at the crowd, she is indeed smiling, like she's happy, like look at it. Right, so whatever. Now, what's interesting and what I decided to make this video is that recently, apparently, she became right-wing. And this is happening around 2019, 2020. She got red pill, chat. All of a sudden, she got red pilled. And this is happening when, again, like if you Google her name, everyone calls her a liar. Like literally the first 100, if not 200 Google search results, all of them call her a liar. And this is because not only did the university found the guy innocent, but the guy sued the university and they settled. I guess, you know, when people grow up, they do become more conservative. Look at her, dressed nicely, shaped herself up. What year is this? This is 2022, but it's interesting to look back at what happened in the past every now and then and judge the stories without the emotional baggage and the censorship and political correctness that existed back then. Like, you have to understand, back then, if you said that she's a liar, that was a controversial opinion. Even though the guy had both a lawsuit under his belt and the university saying that he didn't do it. And again, like if you're asking when did this happen, it was 2020. She wanted a family and she wanted a strong man for a husband. Well, this is actually what's interesting, because this is what got her into this political journey, as she describes it. And apparently she's always considered too right-wing to... my bad. She's telling about the political journey she's lately been on. A listening tour of ideological positions that she's always considered too right-wing to engage. Centrists, conservatives, and whatever Jordan Peterson is, whose name's chill dinner conversation across progressive New York. I love the fact that like Jordan Peterson is so fucking controversial. I'll tell you what, chat. My wife recently wanted to read some self-improvement books, and I was reading like the garbage that she was reading. Like it was like New York Times bestsellers, you know, like other psychologists. And it was like the most basic bitch thing that you can possibly read. So I got her Jordan Peterson, and she told me that it literally helped her out. Because what is Jordan Peterson about? It's not really some deep philosophical stuff. You know, like this is why a lot of people mock him. Like I saw Mr. Medicare mocking Jim for the advice that he is giving. Literally, the advice that Jordan Peterson is giving is like, you need to shape your life first before you can try and change the world. Like, focus on yourself, focus on your family, and have discipline in your life. This is literally what Jordan Peterson is saying. Have discipline in your life. You know, like when you wake up, make the bed. Clean your room. Like, cleaning your room isn't something that is life-changing, but what it does is it makes you feel responsible, right? It sets a discipline. It sets a routine. Like, you routinely do something, because if you don't clean your room, it means that someone else is going to clean it. Why should someone else clean your shit? That is the question, right? So, if you look at other psychologists, I mean, some of them even talk about adultism. And adultism, I'm not even kidding, like this is a thing. Like you can look it up on Google. Adultism is what some psychologists suggest, that parents are oppressing their children. So like you need to have equality between children and parents. Okay? If you're wondering why Jordan Peterson is so famous, that is his competition. Like that is what else is in the field. So before you moan about Jordan Peterson, take into account that there are a lot of psychologists that are warning people against adultism. Like, no, you shouldn't be a parent with your child. Like, you shouldn't have a position of authority when you're talking with your kid. You should have a position of equality. Like, you should always negotiate and compromise with your kid. Which, again, like, in some situations maybe, but like, no. Like, I'm really glad my parents did not negotiate and compromise with me when I was a kid and I wanted to, like, have as much sweets as I wanted or do whatever stuff I wanted to do when I was a kid. And I had the routine. No, it's not. It's not ableism. Ableism is something else. Adultism, okay, it's like racism. But it's like speciesism that vegans do. Like vegans will say that humans considering themselves superior to animals is speciesism. So if you have a pet or if you eat meat, you're speciesist. And adultism is when an adult considers himself to be superior to a child. Which, honestly, he is. I mean, mentally speaking, an adult is superior to a 5-year-old. That's why 5-year-olds can't vote. But, whatever. Like, I'm sure a psychologist would call me a bigot for saying that. Thank you, Elena Ceausescu, for the $50. Well, happy birthday. Please make Listen Bigot t-shirts. I will buy many of them myself and my bachelor party attendees to wear at Seattle. You know what? I should actually. I need to find an artist to do that. Romans 1:26 says, Adinus, for their women exchange natural relations for those that are contrary to nature. And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another. Okay, well, I guess I was wrong. There is a quote. There is a quote that shames lesbianism in the Bible. Praying 5 times a day sets a routine too. Religion in general has a way better at all of this than secular psychology ever could. Yeah, Abdi, but like you need a message for people that are atheists as well. I mean, for some people, religion doesn't work. I agree with you though. Like I agree, like praying 5 times a day sets a routine. And routine is necessary to create discipline. And a disciplined person is more effective at everything than a non-disciplined person. Like, discipline helps you in your life, period. There is no exception to this. Now, you can find discipline in many things. Yes, you can find discipline in religion. You can also find discipline in, just cleaning up your room, doing your bed when you wake up, brushing your teeth, washing your hands after you take a tinkle. My parents negotiated with me. I could do as I was told, or I could spend the afternoon picking up teeth. Pretty effective negotiation technique. Jesus fucking Christ, did your parents really punch you in the face? I mean, like, I'm not the type of person that will say, like, under no circumstance should you spank. Like, no, like, there are certain circumstances. Like, for example, if the kid is playing in the street, and you tell him, like, please don't play in the street because there's cars there. And then he goes and plays on the street the next day. Maybe a spanking is in order. I don't know. Is this controversial? Probably. Whatever. But like from that and what you're describing in that super chat, I think there is a little bit of child abuse going there. Okay. I have found discipline in work. Yeah, you can find discipline in many things. It's not just in work. But anyway. So, look at this. All right, so this lady who's now becoming a right-wing person says, Sulkovic hasn't been red-pilled yet. She's still a feminist and advocator for survivors of sexual assault. What changes her posture? Even if I disagree with this person, it doesn't have to piss me off. So what happened? Well, apparently, she met a right-winger on Tinder. And this right-winger on Tinder, like, at first, put her off. Let's see if I can find it. All right. So during the summer of 2018, she was single for the first time in years. Swiping through Tinder, a man she found distasteful super liked her. It smelled like Connecticut, she says. He was very blonde, law school, cut jawline, trapezoidal body figure, tweed suit kind of vibe, but something inside of me, swipe right, I don't know. They began messaging and she found him witty. He was actually way more fun to talk to than any other person I matched with. Eventually, Sulkovic stalked him on Twitter and realized that he was conservative, like very conservative. At first, she was repulsed and considered breaking it off. But then she thought, wait, actually, that's kind of fucked up because he's the most interesting person I come across. Shouldn't I be open to talking with him? After dispelling her initial fear, she texted him that it would be interesting, progressive, powerful for two people who might be antithesis to each other to go on a Tinder date. Ahead of this date, they traded reading assignments. Solkovitz gave him the password to protected areas of her website, and he sent pieces he'd written for conservative magazines, which she printed, annotated with her critiques, and brought to their date. My fucking God, I just... Look, maybe it's due to what I'm doing here. You know, that I'm running a channel where I talk about politics most of the time. But when I went on dates, I loved leaving my work behind. It's one of the reasons, honestly, like I didn't like dating women from med school, even though those were my only option. Like, I did med school at the university. I studied med school at home. Like, when I went out on a date, I just wanted to leave the fuck alone, like to leave the med school alone. And it's like, imagine going on a date and talking about politics and having like your books with critiques and notes. Jesus fucking Christ. But you know, like, whatever. I guess to each their own. Wokeism is like the birth of Christianity. BLM Christian mob who destroyed pagan temples and statues. That is like some religion in wokeism. Like, no one is going to deny that. Almost everyone that studies wokeism, like they know what makes religion appeal to the masses, and those elements can be found in wokeism. This man expected Sulkowicz to be the patron saint of wokeness. But when he met her, he found that she wasn't actually trying to litigate the issue. She was more just curious about this different perspective that she had been as familiar with. The two sort of dated for a while and then realized that their chemistry was more conversational. They became amazing friends. I mean, I just want to say that maybe her past also scared him off. I mean, if I were to go with a woman that I know accused a man of something that the university denied, and then the man sued the university and he won, like there is no way I'm having intercourse with that person under any circumstance. So not having known conservatives before, Sokol, and by the way, like, notice this, you know, not having known conservatives before, like, this is one of the reasons why there is so much divide in modern politics. Like, people just don't speak with each other anymore. Solkovitz had played to catch up. Early in their friendship, she asked him to recommend one book to help her understand, and he picked up Jonathan Haidt, The Righteous Mind. It's a book that explains in evolutionary terms the human tendency towards political tribalism, and the importance in light of that of learning from one another's beliefs. She called the book mind-opening. Its resonance with her new friendship that did not escape her. Slowly after Solkovitz attended the book talk, this was for the Coddling of the American Mind, which diagnosed the campus left with the kind of cognitive distortions that addle the chronically anxious and depressed. A tendency to blow everyday problems out of proportions or to believe that one's negative feelings reflect reality. This book kicked a hornet's nest on the left, and when Haidt learned that Solkovitz was at his talk, he didn't assume she was a fan. I expected her to be the sort of person who sometimes asks angry questions when I give lectures on campuses. And when I first saw her, and she had blue hair, that fed my assumptions and expectations about what her views and values would be. But Solkovitz surprised him. It changed the way I think about politics, she said, and I wanted to thank you for it. The two became friends. Oh my God. Soon she began attending house parties and happy hours with conservatives and libertarian intellectuals. Reading Jordan Peterson and articles from the National Review in the past, Solkovitz dismissed opposing views without understanding them. But now she's has a new intellectual curiosity, and intertwined with respect. She wants to disagree with people on their own terms. This is an ethical position, but one with personal resonance. I've always been upset, she admits, that there are people out there that assumes that I'm a bad or mean person, without ever having met me. Woman, you made a career ruining the reputation of another human being. Okay? Like, I believe that people can change, even though it's a little bit controversial. Now, I don't believe old people can change, right? So, like, getting a person that's 30 or 40 to change, very difficult. Young people, yes, like, young people can change, definitely. And people can forgive you for what you did, but like, let's not pretend that this is just out of the ordinary. Like, you're just some random person that everyone stereotypes and stigmatizes because you have blue hair. That's not what happens. Imagine being I almost read it, Abdi. I almost read it, but I stopped my Abdi, you cheeky little devil. Imagine being the person that has good enough D to turn a feminist to a lady. Well, apparently he didn't even use the D, so it was the charisma. It was the charisma. Yeah, I do think like conservatives treat better a progressive that's trying to hear the other side than progressives treat a conservative that tries to hear the other side. Because like in the beginning of my channel, I consider myself a leftist. And I generally, like, for example, when it came to topics like representation and diversity, I really wanted to know more, and I was genuinely interested. So I would go on Reddit or on Tumblr, and I would try to find, like, groups of progressive people so I can have a dialogue with them, and all of them were, like, treating me like cancer. And I don't think that would have been the same if I would have just had a conversation with people on the right. Yes, you rolled a perfect 20 on charisma. That is definitely what happened. It's like you're at this table with this feminist idol. What do you do? And the guy is like, well, I'm going to try to convert her to right-wing thought. And the DM is like, all right, roll a d20. And the guy rolls a d20. Rolls a natural 20. A couple weeks after our lunch, Solkovitz brings me a book party at a dark bar on blah 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 street. She introduces me to her friend from Tinder, who asks that I do not use his real name. Okay, now whatever, it's a long fucking article, but I want to say this is not the only time that this happened, because I was talking on my Discord, and there is another person which went through a similar change to some degree, but like this person is not a mean person anyway. Let me see if I can find the picture. Hold on. Is there a picture of them to? Oh, here we go. This is so fucking cute. So. This was Lacey Green. I don't know if you guys remember her, but she was also a very prominent feminist, and she had a lot of outlandish opinions. Like, for example, no platform for bigots. She was for censorship, and she was saying a lot of feminist theory, which Saga got debunked. And she grew to hate him, right? Like, she grew to hate her critics, and all of this happened until they actually meet in real life. And when they met in real life, she started crying because she actually spoke with him and realized, holy shit, this is actually another human being. And it was a very emotional moment for both of them. Of course, Sargon didn't piss his eyes. But after this, it definitely changed Lacey to a certain degree, because she managed to find a boyfriend that was also a little bit right-wing. And she talks about that her political views have changed. Now, it didn't make her a right-winger, but at least she wasn't like, without the hashtag yes all men and, like the cisgender, patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. Like, she dropped all of that nonsense. I still think she's a left-leaning person, but like, for her political compass moved a lot from where she was. Like, she was far, far left, and now she's just like center-left, I would say. So, my point is, like, a lot of these arguments that are happening, and a lot of this vitriol is because people just don't talk with each other. Like, all you need is to have someone to talk with. Abdi Muhammad says that he likes the Jewish people. She just needed a father figure in Saga. It's not about that. But like, I will tell you something else that I noticed. And this was a very interesting thing for me, because I usually find a lot of interesting things just by going online on various forums that most people don't even care about. But there was this forum, I think it was actually on MMO Champion, and there was this guy who was upset that even though he was a feminist, and he was doing everything that feminism told him to, women would choose the conservative men over him. And he didn't understand why that is. Now, when he voiced these concerns on the forum, everyone attacked him and said, oh, look, just because you're nice to women doesn't mean you deserve sex and blah, blah, blah. But everyone missed the point. And the point was that there's a lot of men out there who, they go through puberty and they start liking women, but they don't know how to talk with women. They don't know what they need to do in order to get companionship. Like, it's not about sex. It's pretty much about companionship. Like, when you go to the park and you see other couples holding hands, you want to do that. When you see in movies that a man is hugging a woman, you want to do that. Right? Like, you want to, because you're looking around and all these people are doing that and you feel like you're not normal because you're not doing it. So it's depressing. And a lot of these men, they want to know, like, how do you do it? So they go online and they would read, like, all these correct ways of behavior, like, make sure you're not doing toxic masculinity. Make sure that you're calling out rape jokes when you see them. Make sure that you're a good feminist ally. Make sure that blah, 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 blah. Like, never interrupt a woman when she is speaking. Like, all these things. And they would really do all of these. Like, they would learn feminist literature, and they would probably only talk about feminism and blah, 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 blah. And then they would go out on a date, and they would act in the way that society told them to act, and they would notice that women weren't interested in that. Meanwhile, the biker dude that is an asshole and spanks her ass and does literally exactly what's not supposed to be doing, and he's like part of toxic masculinity culture, he has no problem. Like, he's surrounded by women. So this guy was a little bit bewildered. He was like, well, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? And the reality is, like, I think there was even in TV shows, like, this was explained. It's like feminist women are attracted to conservative men. Even Schwanhead, like, she constantly make this joke that she's attracted to Tucker Carlson. And then she's attracted to conservative men. Even though, like, she's more to the left. Like, she's, I don't know if I can call her progressive, but, like, her ideology is more in line with Bernie Sanders and whatnot. But, like, she wants a right-wing man. And I think it's like, it's kind of like wanting the rebel, right? Because when you're in the progressive circle where everyone is afraid to speak their mind and everyone is just going along, trying to not upset anyone, and then you see the bull in the Chinatown who really doesn't give a flying fuck about your progressive values. It just says whatever he's thinking. And it's kind of like you're looking at a person that enjoys life, because you're surrounded by all these people that do the correct thing, do the social acceptable thing, and you know that they're unhappy. Like, they wanna say the correct. They wanna say what they're thinking. They wanna be free, but they don't. They just do whatever they're required in that situation. And then you meet a person that's comfortable in their own skin, that talks their mind, that isn't ashamed of saying things the way he thinks they are, and that is intoxicating. Right? Like, that shows social status. Like, that shows confidence. Like, you're so confident of your ability to talk your mind that you just do it. And of course women like that. Hell, even men like that. Like, even men would look up to another man. Because, like, you want to be like that man. Women probably want to fuck that man, but men want to be like that man. It's like, how is he doing it? I've been at the workplace, and I know. Like, when you find someone that's very capable at the workplace, and he is indisposable for the company, he can be a complete asshole and a jerk. And unless he's bullying you, like if he's bullying other people, you might be like, how the fuck is he getting away with this shit? Why is he getting away with stuff that I wouldn't? And the answer is because he is very good at the job and he's indisposable for the company. And you know, like, men want to be like that. It's like, okay, maybe I should be better at my job so that I too can be indisposable for the company. I know I'm right, Mitch. Everything I say is absolutely true. Thank you, Brandon Lesko, for the $20. V, the political compass isn't right and left, it's right and wrong. You know, like, it's not really the case. I mean, if I was, like, in a Muslim theocracy where dancing is banned, drawing is banned, and all that shit, yeah, I'd probably be, like, I would say that maybe too much right isn't good, you know? Like, maybe we need a little bit of left-wing as well. Like, too much hierarchy. Like, I wouldn't want to be in a country that's run like the military, where everyone just follows orders, does what they're told. No thinking, like, let the superiors think for you. I wouldn't like such a society. Even though such a society might be prosperous, and like, it might be good, it's not for me. I don't like societies that destroy creativity, basically. Jackie Chan, based on the women I've known, that sounds like a nightmare. Imagine listening to them whining and complaining about stuff, talking to you 24/7. That's pretty much what teenager girls do. Like, once women grow up and they're past the age of 25, they stop doing that. I mean, at least, I don't know, like, to me, it always seemed like an American thing with women complaining and whining in TV shows. Here in Europe, it's not really the same, especially in Eastern Europe. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, you know, everyone whines, like, even men whine. But like, it's not like that. At least, it's not with the women that I dated. It's not like whining 24/7, definitely. Sure, like, they will share some of the problems that they're experiencing, and some of the problems that they have is trivial, like, oh my god, I went to the workplace, and this colleague of mine didn't say hello, and, you know, she gave me the stink eye, and do you think I did something wrong? Am I in the wrong? Okay, fine, you know, but, like, most of the time, no, like, that doesn't happen. And it's also, like, how much you put up with the shit. Like, if, for example, if I liked a girl at university, and let's say she would start talking to me about her boyfriend or her ex, I would say, look, I'm not interested. Like, don't be offended, but I'm not interested in hearing about that. Like, can we talk about video games or whatever we're talking about? Because I had, like, this girl in university that I really liked, and I knew I couldn't have a relationship with her, so I was like, okay, well, it's not like I can, because normally, like, if it's a girl that I liked that I couldn't have a relationship, I would just cut off immediately, because, like, there's no point in keeping it on and, you know, hurting yourself. But in that case, we were both in the same class, and there was no way to cut off the contact. And I, you know, like, eventually I managed to just like her as a friend, and we studied together. I mean, she was really good because she motivated me to study. You know, like, I wouldn't want to embarrass myself in front of her. We played League of Legends and other stuff. And a couple of times she tried to talk to me about her boyfriend, and I was like, I'm not interested. Like, please change the subject. And you do that once, you do that twice, and then they just stop talking about their problems and their boyfriend. So it's pretty much like the way you start a relationship, whether it's with a man or a woman, you set boundaries in the beginning. If you don't set those boundaries, it's going to be very difficult to set them later on. So you need to know what you want, and you need to express yourself. And honestly, like, after a while with that girl, I actually saw her like my sister. Like, all the sexual attraction just went away. And it was just, you know, she was kind of like one of the bros, if you will. But I don't think that would have happened if I allowed her to constantly talk to me about her boyfriend, and I would get involved in her emotional problems, and I was thinking, like, oh my god, like, she had an argument with her boyfriend because he's got a little dick. Like, how can I help her? How can I fix her? Is she going to break up? I hope she's going to break up because I'm going to be next in line, right? Like, that is the wrong mindset to have. You should have fucked her? No, because, again, like, she had a boyfriend. And even though, like, she wasn't interested. It's true, both men and women whine. Oh my god, like, I think I had more men whining to me than I had women. Honestly. I guess the only difference might be the fact that the problems that men whine about are more difficult. I mean, not more difficult, but like more relatable. Like, for example, a man would whine when he doesn't have money and can't pay rent. You know, a man would whine when he got in a fight, and you know, like the next day he has to see the guy at work. Like that is the type of whinery that men have. Uh, Although they whine about women problem as well, but like it's not trivial shit. Women whine to me about a lot of stuff that I couldn't relate with. It's like, oh well, this other girl didn't say hello to me. It's like, okay, why didn't you say hello to her? Oh, because I wanted to see if she notices me. Oh, all right. Um, it's better you didn't become a simp. I mean, I used to be a simp. You know, like every man is simp at one point in their life. Like, especially when you're a teenager and you don't realize how the world works. And, you know, you're used to making friends. And how do you make friends when you're a kid? Well, when you're a kid, in order to make friends, you're nice to people, right? Like, if you want to be friends with the neighbor that plays with his Hot Wheels that his dad bought to him and no one else has them, like, well, the answer is to just be nice to him. But like when you grow up and you're in puberty and you're starting to notice that, oh wow, women exist, uh, you try to be nice to them and you notice that, well, okay, well, that doesn't work. But like when you're nice and it doesn't work, you try to be even more nice, and then you're super nice, and then you're super mega nice, and then you simp. And it takes a while, you know. For some, it can take years. For some, it can take decades. But eventually, you realize, right? Well, this tactic isn't working. It just makes me suffer. So I need to try something else. And eventually, you look around. You notice how other men are doing. You know, like how they're behaving, what they're doing in order to attract women. You know, like the Marxists will say, well, society trains you. Society trains shit. Like, no, you're just looking around and you see what women are into. And you see what other men are doing and you try what works. Uh, I have both been a Chad and a simp. Like, every single man, when they reach the age of 30, are going to be a Chad or a simp. Sorry, a Chad and a simp. Right? Like, with some girls, you're going to be a Chad. With other girls, we're going to be a simp. It's just the nature of life. There's nothing you can do in order to change it. Unless maybe, I don't know, like you're in a hyper religious community and you manage to marry a woman at the age of 18 and you know she's your happily one, and like, okay, fine, like that might be different. But like for average people, in certain situations, just like in certain situations you're an alpha, and in other situations you're the bottom of the battle. I mean, you know, it's the same person. I think it's possible for men and women to be friends. That is complicated, man. That is very complicated. Yes and no, I guess. It depends. Um, what do you mean by friends? Right? Like that is the question. Like, are you talking about like the man never wanting to have sex with her? I mean, maybe. Like, okay, so if the man is really, really not attracted in the woman, like at all, like zero attraction. Maybe she's ugly, maybe she's plump, you know, it's not his type. Maybe he likes big ol' pie and she doesn't have any. Then yes, absolutely. Is it possible for a man to be like to want to have sex with a woman if the occasion is available, but if she doesn't want to, that's fine? Yes, like that can also happen. But like when she says, "Oh, I'm just friends with Josh," and Josh is single, like take into account that you know whenever, like if she was in a, let's be honest, you know, if she comes out of the bathroom and she's got a bath towel around her, and Josh is in the room, and it's like, "Hey, Josh, I'm so horny right now." Do you think Josh will be like, "Oh no, you know, I'm just friends. I don't want to ruin our friendship"? Yeah. But it is possible. It is possible. Like if both of them are in a relationship, like if both Josh has a girlfriend that he loves and she has a boyfriend that she loves, yeah, it is possible for those two to be colleagues, friends, or whatever. And again, like that, there might be like zero attraction, but this happens when they're not teenagers. Because like when you're a teenager and you're a guy, almost every woman is attractive. That's your age, I mean. But as you grow in age, like when you reach my age or something like that, you're like 30, 35, 36. There's a lot of women that you just don't find attractive under any circumstance, like no matter what. And yeah, like at that point, friendship is 100% possible. Like when both of them are adults, friendship is 1000% possible between a man and a woman. But like as teenagers, very unlikely. There you go. I finally managed to. It's a difference of male female psychology. If you give stuff to a man, he likes you more. If you give stuff to a woman, she likes herself more. I didn't know about that. I don't know if that's the case. Josh Wood. Well, it depends. You know, like with me, there are a lot of women that, even if I wasn't married, and they would come out from the bath with a towel around them and wanted to do the freaky, I would be like, no. It really depends, right? Like, again, the age of 35, 36. There's a lot of women that I have absolutely no interest in. They're literally like guys to me. It's like, if you want to hang around, you know, and be friends, that's fine, but there's absolutely nothing sexual, and you can't persuade me otherwise. But when I was a teenager, that would never happen, obviously. Like, when I was a teenager, I was completely different. Old folks' home are full of fucking, by the way. Maybe they are. I don't know. Based VTuber called the Chicom Dragon. I don't know. Hello, Lesser Logic. We were talking about men and women. But yes. I told my wife when she turns 13, I would trade her for two 15-year-olds. Is that even legal in your country? Peter, where are you at? Well, see, this is something else that I don't get. Like, to me, teenage girls, I mean, even 18, right? Like, in Romania, 16 is legal. But, like, 18-year-olds, I would never be able to have anything with them. Like, when I was a teenager and I looked around and I saw how hot the women my age were, and then I would look at a 25, 26, and I was like, oh my god, like when I'm going to be 25 and 26, I'm going to have to date women like that? I mean, that's just, how will I be attracted? I mean, and then I ended up being 25, 26, and behind me at a restaurant, there were a couple of teenage girls, and they were like, oh my god, like, did you see that Bethany bought a new phone? And, like, she didn't tell me about it? Like, oh my god, what a cow. But like, you know, at least my boyfriend, like, my boyfriend works at a law firm, and he makes so much money, and he takes me everywhere I want. And it's like, oh, well, that's nothing. Like, my boyfriend, he's got his own business, and he's making more money than your boyfriend. And I was, like, thinking, like, good god, where is a Gillette razor when you need it? I need it. Need a Gillette for myself. Like, what is the dinner? I want to get out. Just help me get out. This is hell. And it's the same, right? Like, I genuinely, like, don't understand what type a 30-year-old man, like, what can they have in common with an 18-year-old? It's just like, whatever, you know. Sounds like Japan. Oh, that would explain why the marriage rates are plummeting in Japan. No, I didn't, Jack. I don't know. That is why I don't listen to them. But, like, I want to listen to a woman. Well, I want to listen to another person. This is not some American comedy level bullshit like Kindergarten Cop or whatever. No, like, I want the woman that I can actually talk to. Like, I want a partner in life. Look, right now, I bought a house. What I want to raise my family in. And this house costs money. Now, I'm paying the mortgage, and she pays the bills. Like, we do 50-50, right? Like, she's got a wage, and she does the grocery shoppings, and, you know, she buys food and whatever. And I pay the mortgage, I pay the internet, I pay the electricity, she pays the water and the garbage. Right? But, like, I need someone that can be a partner in my life. Now, I know maybe other people aren't like that, but I think it's a lot more wholesome than just being with another person that can be, like, I don't know, like, what do they contribute with? Like, what would they do around it? Nothing. The only thing they can contribute is that when you have a son and he becomes a teenager, maybe they can take him off your back and calm him the fuck down. But other than that, I don't know. Even 16 is too young for adult men. I mean, like, just because 16 is legal in my country doesn't mean people won't give you the stink eye if you're like 25 and you're dating a 16. Like, people are already just like, what? And to think about it, the difference in age isn't that big. Like, how much is it? Like 16? Yeah, I think it's 8 years, right? Between 16 and 25. Am I mathematicianing correctly? I think I'm mathematicianing correctly. Yeah, and the difference with me and my wife is around 9 years. So technically it's bigger, but like I hooked up when she was 25, so so tired of this flexing. Yeah, you know what? It's because you don't have the correct age. Wait until you're 35 and you won't see it as flexing. You'll see it as something normal. I mean, people have been fucking since the beginning of mankind. You're going to fuck as well, Bobo. It's not something that, oh my god, oh, he's dating a woman, oh, this is flexing, oh, look at the accomplishment, achievement, oh, he's one of the anointed ones. Yeah, I used to think like that when I was a teen. Then you become older and you realize that, oh, well, I mean, why is it surprising? I mean, my father managed to fuck, my grandfather managed to fuck, my great-grandfather managed to do it, my great-great-grandfather, everyone managed to fucking do it. Yeah, so you're going to do it as well, Bobo. It's not really flexing. It's just normal. Flexing is when you actually have a kid and you manage to get him through university and he actually gets a good job and he's independent, okay? That's flexing. That is something abnormal in today's day and age. When he manages not to join a leftist riot group and end up getting arrested because he freaked out at the Kavanaugh hearing and got in trouble with the cops. Alright? When he manages not to do that, then you can flex. Fucking hell. I generally like don't understand the internet mindset because like you don't see it in real life when you talk with other people your age. They're like, oh well, I mean, obviously. It's not like I mean, when I say that, hey, did you hear about that guy? He got married. No one's like, oh my god, oh wow, the hashtag flexing. Oh, he's flexing. It's Menta says, your opinion on the latest Freedom Tunes vid. I agree with it. The left were always subversive and attacking normalcy. I haven't seen the latest Freedom Tunes video, but I do know Al Bundy, and I gotta say, like Al Bundy, it was a mockery, right? Like Al Bundy was subversive. They tried to make fun of the family unit in the United States, but I want to say something else. You know, people keep blaming, oh my god, like Hollywood destroyed American culture. It's not really the case. What destroys American culture is the people who watch these movies. Right? Like Al Bundy wouldn't have been famous if people wouldn't watch it. Like people enjoyed watching it. And I think the reason they enjoyed watching it is because for a while you only saw idealistic movies on television. And this one was different. And people like different. Now, I will tell you something about Al Bundy, which when you watch now, you're going to watch it from a completely different light. You have one man, a shoe salesman, who can afford all this fucking house, right? So one shoe salesman, just one income for 4 people living in this fucking mansion. And you know what? It wasn't weird at the time. I mean, people who watched Al Bundy didn't say, well, how is he managing with one wage as a shoe salesman to have so much? I mean, that's ridiculous. No one brought this up. Not a single person brought this up. You know why? Because at the time you can actually do it. Probably not this level of house. I give you that. Like probably not a 2-floor house. But with one house, you can have a family of 4. With one income. Sorry. With one income, you could have had a family of 4 and a dog. In the United States. Easily. And that is what actually was taken away. That is the big thing. That disappeared that no one talked about. Like when with one income, you could afford having 3 people staying at home and doing nothing. Peggy was kind of hot. I don't know. I mean, I was more into Kelly. Bundy, from what I can recall, like was actually a good man. I mean, he was kind of stupid, and he was making some sexist jokes at the shoe store, but other than that, like he was a good husband. I mean, he was providing for his family. He was giving money to his children. Sure. Like again, he was kind of stupid, but he wasn't Family Guy level. I mean, Family Guy is literally a bad dad. I mean, that there's no question about Peter Griffin being unable to care for his family. But with Al Bundy, no, like he was legitimately a nice individual. The American dream of reaching the middle class. 7 touchdowns in one game. Yeah. Am I talking about the 1950s, 70s America? Well, when did Al Bundy came out? Because, yeah, probably that. Probably 50s, 70s America, yes. The Bundy family is actually pretty conservative and traditional for today's standard. So when Al Bundy came up, a lot of sitcoms were about having a perfect family. And Al Bundy flipped the script by having, like a dysfunctional family. But, I mean, compared to today's standards, it's not really dysfunctional. Even though they had a divorce arc, they got back together. I guess, like, one of their kids, even Kelly, like, she was sleeping with a lot of guys and such, but, I mean, she never got pregnant. And Bud actually managed to do something of his life. He was a womanizer, but he actually managed to get educated and get a stable job, if I remember correctly. So yeah, even by today's standards, like Al Bundy would be a very if you look at Al Bundy from today's standards, it's actually a very wholesome TV show with a very stable family. Sure, it's dysfunctional, but like what family isn't? Roseanne and Al Bundy were the dysfunctionals, yeah. I mean, well, Peggy was kind of dysfunctional as well, right? Like, she never wanted to get a job. She didn't spend time with the children. Like, she wouldn't help them with school. She refused to do any housework. Like, okay, fine. You don't want to do housework. Get a job. Oh, you don't want to get a job either. All right, well, at least spend some time educating the kids. Oh, you don't want to do that as well. I guess the only thing you can say about Peggy is that she wasn't cheating. Like, that's literally her only virtue in the marriage. It's like she wouldn't cheat on Al. But other than that, yeah, like she was very selfish and very oriented about her pleasures, and she wouldn't do something for someone else unless she absolutely had to. Bud Bundy was an incel. Yeah, I mean, he was struggling to attract women. Like, the struggle was real for him. But I think like there are a couple of episodes where he actually manages to have sex. He didn't end up in prison, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, if you have a woman, the worst that can happen is that she can come pregnant at home, right? Like, so she can end up being a thought. But if you have a son, the worst thing that can happen is that he can end up being a thug. So he can end up in prison. Like, that's the downward spiral for the two sexes. And in the Bundy family, neither of that happened, so... She ended up with Fry? No, I think she ended up with Al in the end. I remember that the family was still together by the end of the season. Anyway, I can't believe we're talking about Al Bundy for so long. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I would like to thank you so much for the super chats. And if you have some other topics that you want me to talk about in the future streams, let me know. Sunday, I will be doing a collab with Viri, I believe her name is. Viri from Heaven X. She's a really nice lady. Maybe we can play some games. And I'll see you guys then. Take care.